to get rid of the pregnancy.
No, the baby deserves to live.
Look at yourself. You can't even afford to eat 3 square meals, yet you want to keep a pregnancy. That wickedness. If you're going to keep that baby, be ready to face anything that comes.
Oh my God, the baby is coming!
Everything was perfect. Amira and Desmond were deeply in love. At least, that was what she believed. Desmond treated her kindly. He called often. He showed care. He bought her gifts. He made promises that sounded like forever. With him, Amira felt safe. She felt chosen. She felt loved. Then Amira found out she was pregnant. And everything changed. Desmond was no longer the man she knew. The love that felt solid suddenly vanished, and Amira was left to face the beginning of a journey she never imagined she would walk alone. Before we go deep into her story, please click the subscribe button, hit the like button, and remember to drop a comment for more real-life storytelling. Now, sit back, let me tell you how it all began. Amira still remembered the way her heart beat that morning. It was not fear. It was not sickness. It was something deeper. She had been feeling tired for days, but she ignored it. She thought it was stress. She thought it was work. She thought it was life being life. But that morning, when she woke up, her body felt different. She sat on the bed for a long time, staring at the wall, her mind racing. Something inside her whispered that her life was about to change. When she finally did the test and saw the result, her heart froze. Her knees became weak. She slowly sat down on the cold floor, holding the stick with both hands. Her eyes moved from the result to her stomach, then back again, as if she was not sure it was real. Then she smiled. A soft smile. Her eyes filled with tears, not tears of fear, but tears of shock, hope, and disbelief. She pressed her palm against her stomach. So it's true, she whispered. There is someone there. In her mind, she already saw a future. She imagined him smiling. She imagined him holding her. She imagined them planning together. She told herself, this baby will make us stronger. She dressed up carefully that day. She wanted to look nice when she told him. She practiced the words in her head on the way. She imagined different reactions. When she finally told him, she watched his face closely. At first, he did not speak. The silence was heavy. Then he laughed, not a happy laugh. A dry laugh. He leaned back and sighed deeply, like someone who had just been given bad news. He said this was not what he wanted. He said this was not part of the plan. He said she should take care of it. Amira did not understand at first. Then he made it clear. He wanted her to abort the pregnancy. Her smile disappeared. She told him calmly that she would not. She told him she had already decided. She told him the baby deserved to live. That was when his words became sharp. He looked her up and down and told her to be realistic. He told her to look at herself properly. He said she could not even afford to eat 3 square meals a day, yet she wanted to keep a pregnancy. He said bringing a child into such a life was wickedness. Each word hit her chest like a slap. Her voice shook as she told him she would manage. She said she was ready to suffer if it meant saving the baby. That was when he stood up angrily. He accused her of trying to trap him. He accused her of doing it because of his money. He accused her of planning it. Amira felt like the ground opened under her feet. That was the day love ended. From that moment, the man she knew disappeared. Calls reduced. Messages became cold. Sometimes days passed without hearing from him. When she cried, he told her she was disturbing him. When she complained of sickness, he told her other women had been pregnant before. Pregnancy did not soften him. It hardened him. Amira started suffering, not only in her body, but in her soul. Morning sickness drained her strength. Some days she vomited until her throat burned. Some days she lay on the floor because standing was too much. Food became a problem. Hunger became normal. There were nights she drank only water and slept with pain in her stomach, no pregnancy pain, hunger pain. She lost weight instead of gaining. At night, when everywhere was quiet, she would sit on the bed and talk to her baby. She placed her hand on her stomach and whispered through tears. She told the baby she was sorry. She told the baby she did not know it would be like this. She promised that no matter how hard things became, she would not give up. Those nights, tears soaked her pillow silently. Hospital bills kept coming. Each visit came with money she did not have. The man complained anytime hospital was mentioned. He said she was exaggerating. He said pregnancy was not sickness. So Amira started selling her things. Little properties. Things she had gathered over the years. Things she loved. She worked petty jobs while pregnant. Cleaning. Running errands. Standing under the sun with weak legs and dizziness. Sometimes she almost fainted. But she paid her bills. Because of the baby. Unknown to her, every problem she had with the man was reported to his mother. The mother listened and shook her head in disappointment. She told her son that Amira was a burden. She told him the girl was lazy and calculating. She said women like her only knew how to use pregnancy to hold men. She reminded him of his money and status. She told him Amira refused abortion because she wanted to enjoy his wealth. Those words poisoned his heart. When Amira later moved into his house, hoping for peace, things became worse. The mother's voice controlled everything. Any misunderstanding, he ran to report. Any argument, the mother added fuel. Amira felt like an unwanted guest in a place she thought was home. She endured it all quietly. Until labor came. Labor was long. Painful. Endless. She pushed until her strength finished. Her body shook. Her voice broke. Doctors told her the baby was too big. They said she could not push anymore. They demanded a C-section. Fear swallowed her. She did not have money. She cried. She begged. She thought she would die there. Eventually, help came. She was taken in. And after all the pain, the baby cried. A strong cry. Her baby girl. She named her Zainab. Tears rolled down her face as she held her child. In that moment, everything she suffered flashed before her eyes. After birth, things did not improve. If anything, they became worse. Amira thought that once the baby arrived, once everyone could see the innocent face of the child, hearts would soften. She thought motherhood would earn her respect. She thought suffering through pregnancy would count for something. She was wrong. From the moment she returned home with Zainab, the atmosphere changed. The house was no longer just uncomfortable, it became hostile. The mother's presence grew heavier. She began to speak openly now, without shame, without hiding her intentions. She reminded Amira constantly that a child belonged to the father, not the mother. She said it with confidence, as if it was a law written somewhere that Amira had missed. She would say that a man owns his child. That a woman is only allowed to carry the pregnancy. That once the child is born, the child belongs to the father's family. Those words sat in Amira's chest like stones. Sometimes, the woman would walk into the room and take Zainab from her arms without asking. No greeting. No explanation. She would just stretch out her hands and collect the baby. Amira's heart would race. She would stand there, confused, watching her child being carried away like an object that did not belong to her. Sometimes the baby would cry. Sometimes she would reach out for Amira. But the woman would not stop. On those days, Amira could not rest. She could not eat. She could not breathe properly until her child was returned. And sometimes, the mother would not return the baby quickly. She would keep Zainab with her, moving around the house, making phone calls, laughing, as if Amira's fear did not matter. On one of those days, the woman made it clear. She told Amira that if they wanted to take the child permanently, there was nothing she could do about it. She reminded her that she had no power, no money, no backing. She told her she should be grateful they were even allowing her to stay in the house. Amira felt her legs weaken. From that day, fear became her shadow. The man also changed completely. Anytime Amira asked for money for the baby, milk, hospital follow-up, clothes, his face hardened. He would tell her he had no money. He would tell her to manage. He would tell her she was asking for too much. But the same day, she would watch him give money to his mother. She would see his mother return from the market with bags full of baby items. Diapers, milk, clothes. But none of it passed through Amira's hands. If she asked about it, she was told it was not her concern. That the child was being taken care of. Amira felt useless. She was the mother, but she had no authority. She carried the pregnancy. She went through labor. She bled. She cried. Yet she was treated like a stranger. One evening, Amira cooked food. Not special food. Just simple food. She cooked with love, thinking maybe things could still be normal. Thinking maybe feeding the man she once loved could restore some peace. Before he could even sit down to eat, his mother stopped it. She said Amira was not allowed to cook for him. She said it had been forbidden. She said a woman like Amira had no right to feed her son. Those words cut deeper than hunger. From that day, Amira became invisible in that house. She was not allowed to cook for him. She was not allowed to advise him. She was not allowed to correct anything. She was only allowed to breastfeed the baby, and even that was done under watch. The threats became bolder. The mother began to speak as if Zainab already belonged to her. She talked about how the child would grow up in their family. How they would train her properly. How Amira was not stable enough to raise a child. Sometimes she said it jokingly. Sometimes she said it seriously. But Amira heard the message clearly. They were preparing to take her baby. She started sleeping with one eye open. Every cry of the baby at night made her heart jump. Every movement in the house made her anxious. She held Zainab tightly while sleeping, afraid someone would come and carry her away. That was when something inside Amira broke and rebuilt itself. She realized something important. If she stayed, she would lose her child. That morning was quiet. The house was still asleep. No voices. No footsteps. No tension in the air, just silence. Amira sat on the bed with Zainab pressed against her chest. The baby's breath was warm. Steady. Real. Sunlight crept into the room through the window. It touched the wall. Then the floor. Then her face. For the first time in a long while, Amira felt something settle inside her. Not fear. Not confusion. Clarity. She looked down at her daughter, at the tiny fingers curled against her skin, at the way Zainab trusted her completely. In that moment, Amira understood something she had been too tired to see before. Fear had kept her quiet. Hope had kept her waiting. Love had kept her enduring. But clarity gave her something stronger. And she knew. If she stayed, they would break her. If she stayed, they would take her child piece by piece, first control, then custody, then love. If she stayed, she would disappear completely. She whispered softly, barely louder than a breath. I won't let them take you. Her hands stopped shaking. She did not cry. She did not panic. She stood up slowly, carefully, as if the house itself might hear her thoughts. She would leave. Not tomorrow. Not when things got worse. Not after another threat. That day. She packed quietly. She did not argue. She did not explain. She did not beg. She carried her baby and walked out. No dramatic shouting. No final words. Just a mother protecting her child. Life was hard after that. Very hard. Amira became both mother and father. She struggled financially. She slept little. She worried constantly. But there was peace. No one threatened to take her child. No one controlled her. No one reminded her of her helplessness. She started small. Very small. She sold things. She learned a skill. She started a business. Slowly, money began to come. Not plenty. Not enough to rest. But enough to breathe. Each dress she sold, each small payment she received, reminded her that she was moving forward, even if it was slow. She saved carefully. She planned quietly. She refused to give up. Then one day, Amira made another decision. She returned to school. Some mornings, she went with Zainab strapped to her back. Other days, she left the child with a neighbor she trusted and hurried to class. She sat at the back, tired but determined, listening carefully, writing slowly, refusing to be distracted by shame. At night, when the world finally slept, Amira studied. Zainab would be called beside her, breathing softly. Books open. Eyes heavy. Mind focused. There were nights she wanted to quit. Nights her body ached. Nights she wondered if it was worth it. But then she would look at her daughter. And she would continue. Because this time, she was not building a life for herself alone. She was building a future for both of them. Zainab grew strong. She ate well. She laughed often. She slept peacefully. The child did not stress her. Instead, she gave Amira purpose. Today, Amira smiles. Not because life is perfect, but because she survived. She looks at her daughter and knows she chose right. She carried life when love walked away. She chose strength when fear surrounded her. She chose her child when everything tried to take her down. And that is a victory. So that's the end of our story.